Hello, I hope you're doing great. My name is Kelly Hoover. If you're watching this on the replay, drop in the comments replay. And today I'm going to be talking to you about word of the year. Do you select one? And some tips. I'm going to be sharing some tips to actually carry this word of the year all the way through the entire year. So many times people will choose a word of the year and they get super excited and analyze what that word means. And then by March, they're not living that word anymore. How do I know this? Because I've done it. So say hello when you are hopping on. If you have chosen a word of the year, drop it below. I would love to know. I get super inquisitive about how people select their word, what their words are. I learned about the choosing a word of the year about 4 years ago. And so I went 2 years and selected a word of the year, but never lived it through. I was super excited about it for 30, 45 days. Mid-February, I had forgotten what I had chosen. And so last year I thought, all right, I'm really going to live it through. And I lived it through for about 6 months, but I still didn't carry it through the whole year. So when I was thinking about what my word of the year was going to be for this year, I was like, I'm not going to have a word of the month or a word of the quarter. I want to carry it through. And I really want to have a word of the year, but how can I do that? How can I hold myself accountable? And so I came up with some tips that really helped me. I'm going to share them with you. So share your word of the year. If you need, and you're like, I don't even know what you're talking about, but this sounds super cool, drop below the word list and I will send you an article that explains the word of the year. And it has I don't even know, 300, 200, I don't know. It's a lot. It is a lot of words of the year that you can, see if one is a good fit for you. I love that, Lori, your word of the year is motivated, and that is a great word. I mean, that can apply to every aspect of your life. My word of the year is momentum. Momentum, and it is because I want to create momentum in my fitness journey, my health journey, my spiritual journey, my business, helping other women create their business and just really create that momentum. It's like when you get momentum going, it just continues to build upon itself. It's sort of like when you're doing really good with your eating plan or your workout plan, you've created that momentum and it's easier to go once you've started. Sometimes the hardest part is getting started, right? So my word is momentum. So here are some tips for you to help you carry out your word of the year for the entire year. Okay, you may want to take notes on this one. All right, so the first tip is to, if you post on social media, you're hanging out with me here, I'm pretty sure you probably do, create an album. So you can post whatever your post is. It doesn't have to be related to your word, but create an album that says it. So if you go to my albums right now, you're going to see an album that says Momentum 2022, because guess what? Every time I add a post this year, I'm going to stick it in that album. And every time I post, I'm going to be reminded of my word of the year. And so it's going to remind me, and I do post a lot on social media. So every time I see that, it's going to constantly remind me of the commitment that I made, not just to the word, but the actions that the word is behind. So do that. Another thing you can do is create an album on your phone. So you can create the album, title it Momentum or title it Motivated, title it whatever your word is. And if you have quotes, if you have specific things that you motivate you or match up with your word, remind you of your word, throw them in the album. Every time you go to photos and you look at your album, you're going to be reminded of your word. Another thing is to take a set of sticky notes and write your word on and put it on your dashboard. Write your word and put it on your refrigerator, on your door, anywhere that you constantly see it, on your computer. Yes, I do know you love quotes and I love them too. They're so inspirational. So take a sticky notes and write those everywhere. Another spot that you can do it is take an Expo marker. I love an Expo marker, and you can write your word on your mirror. Write it, any mirror that you constantly see, write your word. Have a constant reminder of what your word is. Most people start and end their day very close in their bathroom, brushing their teeth, washing their face. And if you have an Expo marker and you write your word there or use a sticky note, you'll be constantly reminded of the word and the commitment. It's not so much the word, it's the commitment and the meaning that comes around it, right? So that is a good tip. Another really good tip is to set up reminders. So I love to do this. I love to be able to set myself up reminders. You can do this with emails also if you're an email person, or you can do both. Set yourself up a reminder. So for example, you could go and say, January 15th, remind me at 9 a.m. that I want, to be reminded to my commitment to my word of the year. And February 15th, send yourself an email that says, remind me, send a quote along with it, a meaning that is attached to your word. But you're basically planning it out for your whole year. Can you imagine in June, getting a reminder popped up on your phone or an email popped up on your phone that you set in January that is reminding you the commitment that you made? I think about Lori. I think like your word, motivated. And I know that you're motivated to get to the gym and to work out. So what if you set a reminder up every 2 weeks about staying motivated to get to the gym? And there was a week or two that you didn't go, and then you got that reminder in June that said, you committed to this. It's going to remind you, it's going to get you back there, right? But you're setting that up now for the entire 2022. All right. And you can do that on email or on your phone. Your reminders here on your phone. Okay, the last thing that I have that is going to help me this year is each month, if you're a paper calendar girl, which I'm old school, I kick it old school. This is my calendar for the year. I love law of attraction, but you can write your word, go to each beginning, you can go to each week, you can go to each month, however you use your calendar, and write your word. Write your word, and you can even go into depth and say like, why did you commit to that word? Why is that word important? Maybe you just list one thing. Or if you know in your heart, like why you chose your word, just put your word, put it in big bold pen, put it in big bold marker or something like that. But these are just a few tips that will help you stay accountable to the word of the year that you have chosen. And if you're like, I don't have a word of the year, I've never heard of this before, then drop the word list below. Or if you just want to look at a list of words, drop the word list below, and I will send you over a list of examples that I think is a really great list that you can read about and maybe select your own word. This is also a really great thing to do with your kids if you have children. I know tomorrow my family is going to be creating family vision boards and individual vision boards. I personally have done mine, but we've not done our family one yet. So we'll be doing that, and we have never had our children select a word of the year, but we will tomorrow. So it'll be super fun to see what theirs are. And it doesn't even have to be a word of the year. You could choose a word of the quarter if you feel like that fits your lifestyle better. The whole point is just having something that focus. I know that when you focus on something, that is what grows. And so if you're focused on one specific thing, that is the thing that will grow. So I hope you have a great evening, and thanks for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. If it was, click the share button and definitely let me know what your word of the year is. I can't wait to support you. Have a great night.